You have prayed against the same struggle 100 times, the same anger, the same shame, the same fear that shows up at midnight like it never left. You pray. You promise yourself you'll change. You ask God to take it away. And for a little while, you feel stronger. Then something happens. Someone says the wrong thing. You feel rejected. You get tired. You are alone with your thoughts. And suddenly, you're right back in the same place. You start wondering, God, why am I still fighting this? Maybe the problem isn't that you haven't prayed enough. Maybe you've been praying against the fruit while ignoring the root, because some struggles aren't just habits. They are strongholds. And a stronghold is not simply something you do. It is something you believe for so long that it has started to feel like who you are. Today, I want you to understand 5 things about strongholds. And at the end, I'm going to give you a simple prayer you can speak when you feel that old battle rising again. The first thing you need to understand is this. A stronghold is a fortified lie you've agreed with so many times that it feels like truth. Maybe the lie is, I'm not good enough. Maybe it's, everyone eventually leaves me. Maybe it's, I'll always be angry. Maybe it's, something is wrong with me. Maybe it's, God has forgotten me. And after hearing that voice for years, you stop questioning it. You start building your identity around it. That's where the danger begins. 2 Corinthians 10 verse 4 says that the weapons God gives us a divine power to demolish strongholds. Notice the language. A fortress. Something that has been built, brick by brick, thought by thought, agreement by agreement. You cannot tear down what you refuse to name. So today, don't just name the behavior. Name the belief underneath it. Don't say, I struggle with anger. Ask yourself, what does my anger make me believe? Don't just say, I'm afraid. Ask, what is fear telling me about God, myself, or my future? Because sometimes the behavior is only the smoke. The lie is the fire. And if you keep fighting the smoke, you'll never reach the flame. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Strongholds usually aren't built in one dramatic moment. They're built through repeated agreement. One painful experience happens. Then another. Someone rejects you. Someone betrays you. Someone tells you that you're worthless. You fail. You lose something you loved. And somewhere along the way, you quietly say, maybe they're right. That's how the wall gets another brick. Romans 12 verse 2 tells us to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Renewing, not pretending, not forgetting. Renewing. God doesn't only want to change what happens around you. He wants to change what happens inside you when life hurts. Because you've already survived things that taught you to expect pain. Now God is teaching you how to expect His presence. So when that old thought comes back today, don't simply listen to it. Answer it. When your mind says you're alone, answer, God is with me. When it says, you'll never change, answer, God is still working in me. When it says, you're not enough, answer, my worth does not come from people's approval. Strongholds are often built one agreement at a time. And sometimes they begin to fall the same way, one truth at a time. But there's another part of this battle that hurts to admit. Silence is not always healing. Sometimes silence allows the wound to stay hidden. There are things you've carried for years because you thought talking about them would make you weak. You smiled. You said, I'm fine. You went to church. You prayed. You helped everyone else. And then you went home and cried where nobody could see you. Maybe you became so good at hiding your pain that even the people closest to you don't know what you're carrying. James 5 verse 16 teaches us about confessing and praying with one another. There's power in bringing what is hidden into the light. You don't have to tell everyone your story, but find one trustworthy, godly person, someone safe, someone who will pray with you instead of judging you, because your pain was never meant to become your prison. And please hear this carefully. You don't have to be ashamed of the wound in order to heal from it. God already knows. You don't shock Him with your weakness. You don't scare Him with your history. You don't disappoint Him by admitting that you're tired. Now here's the fourth thing. You have been given a voice, but you've been using it mostly to describe your problem instead of declaring God's truth. Think about how often you've said, I'm broken. I'm anxious. I'm always like this. Nothing ever changes. I'm never going to get better. Be careful with the words you repeat when you're hurting. Pain may explain what happened to you. It does not get to decide who you become. Your past can explain your wound without becoming your identity. So instead of constantly agreeing with the strongest voice in your fear, begin speaking God's truth over yourself. Not because repeating words is magic, not because you can control God, but because your mind needs to hear truth when it's spent years listening to lies. Say, this pain is part of my story, but it is not my identity. I have been hurt, but I am not hopeless. I have struggled, but I am not defeated. God is still with me. And when you pray, don't pray as though God has never heard you before. Come honestly. Come boldly. Come wounded if you need to, because the God who met you in your strength is the same God who meets you in your breaking. And now the fifth thing. You need to stop only asking God to remove the struggle and start asking Him to transform the place where the struggle has been living. Because sometimes what you need isn't simply relief. You need renewal. You need truth where there has been deception, forgiveness where there has been guilt, peace where there has been fear, identity where there has been shame, and freedom where you've spent years surviving. So, if you're able, close your eyes for a moment, take a slow breath, and pray this with me. Father, I come to you honestly. I confess the places where I have believed lies instead of your truth. I name the fear. I name the shame. I name the anger. I name the rejection. I name the belief that I am not enough. I give these things to you. I refuse to make my wounds my identity. I refuse to let my past determine my future. Renew my mind. Heal what I have been hiding. Teach me to recognize the lies and answer them with your truth. Where I have believed I was alone, remind me that you are with me. Where I believed I was worthless, remind me that I am loved. Where I believed I would never change, remind me that you are still working in me. Jesus, help me tear down every thought that keeps me trapped and replace it with what you say is true. Give me strength to forgive. Give me courage to speak. Give me wisdom to seek help when I need it. And give me peace while you rebuild the parts of me that pain tried to destroy. I am not my worst day. I am not my deepest wound. I am not the lie I believe about myself. I belong to you. Amen. Maybe you've been asking God for freedom for a long time. Maybe you're tired because you thought healing would happen overnight. But don't mistake slow healing for no healing. A seed doesn't look like a tree when it's buried. Something can be growing even when you cannot see it. So today, remember 5 things. Name the lie. Watch the agreements. Break the silence. Speak truth. And bring the root to God, not just a symptom. You don't have to pretend you're okay anymore. You don't have to carry everything alone. And you don't have to become the person your pain told you that you would become. Your pain may be part of your story, but it does not get to write the ending. Asterisk, asterisk. If this spoke to the part of you that has been fighting silently, write this in the comments. I am not my stronghold. God is rebuilding me. And tonight, before you touch your phone, take 2 minutes. Be still, breathe, and talk to God about the root, not just the pain you can see.